Here it is mid-March, spring break. Snow is on the ground this morning. I haven't posted anything in about a month, and it's not like it's winter and gardening isn't happening. There are many little things happening every day. I'm going to share a few of those with you.
So this is my Valentine present. It is my flowers, or will be in the future. John is creating me a separate garden just for my cut flowers. It's going to be 30 feet wide by 37 and a half feet. Go down here, other end. There'll be a 10-foot space between our two gardens. This is our vegetable garden. Have a pile that would need to be mulched up. Cut it, run through the chopper. Very little sense of smell, but I love the smell of fresh turned soil.
One of my favorite things to do after a floral holiday, such as Valentine's Day or Mother's Day, is to go to a box store, big box store, and shop their clearance plants. I was hoping to find some miniature roses this time. That was my intent. But I found this display. I didn't find any roses within the price range I was willing to pay. But I found this plant, and what caught my eye in the display was actually the pussy willows here sticking out. They had quite a display of plants in these pink pots, house plants with the pussy willows sticking out. Originally $19.99. Not bad. I already pulled off my clearance sticker of $4.99 now. Much better price. Got a great house plant. I don't like, I'm going to pull this off first and save that so I see how to grow the anthurium. Not had much luck with them. I only tried it one other time, and I don't think it was a healthy plant to begin with. This one, however, I believe looks pretty healthy. I'm going to take it out of the pot. I don't like that most houseplants nowadays come with these pots from the box stores. I don't like them mostly, or they're not my color, not my style. So I'm going to set that one aside. I'll probably put it out with my vases and pass it on to somebody else eventually. I have one here. This is another one that came from a box store. I auditioned it a little bit. It's not bad, but probably a little bright and a little bit of too much contrast for me. Notice this one looks nice and healthy. I got some root coming out here. There's roots coming out the bottom as well. I tend to like things that are a little, in fact, I probably need to pop this up. I tend to like things that are more vintage. So I have this bigger pot. It's a little bit small in there, but if I pot up the plant, I think it'll fit just fine in there. That's a little bit more my style. So I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to pull out the pussy willows. What I really want to do with these is try to propagate them. I've propagated before, and not intentionally necessarily. My mother-in-law has a pussy willow tree, and I've cut them, put them in flower arrangements, and they'll grow roots quite easily. But I would like to turn these into plants myself that I can grow myself. So I'm going to actually have a glass of water here. And I've used willow water when I've had from my mother-in-law to propagate other plants as well. I don't really think I need to, but I'm going to add a little bit of rooting hormone in it to the water. Just take a little bit, stir some in. Hopefully that'll help it speed up the rooting process. to dissolve real well. That'll be good. I'm going to take my Pussy Willows. You can see the growth coming right here. There's one there. One there. I'm going to cut right below that one. Open my shears up. I'm going to cut right below that node. Growth point. In between. It's got some dirt on it. Again, cutting there. Sticking it in. Anything falls below the water line, I don't think it is. Any of the catkins, I need to remove them. Yeah, there's a growth point right there. Oh, this one. Yeah, that Pussy Willow catkin just reaches the water line. So I'm going to remove it so it doesn't murk up the water, dirty it up. There we go. I'm just going to let that sit out on the counter and see if we get some growth soon. It's about 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon, February 25th. And I just got back about an hour ago, got back home from grandkids basketball games, and in between games I ran errands, picked up a few things. I want to share that to begin with. The first errand I ran was to the post office. On Wednesday, they couldn't deliver a package to my house because of construction being done in our driveway. So I think they just kind of let it sit over there at the post office. And I was really excited. I wanted to get it because I knew it was from Gardener's Workshop. First thing I needed from them, the actual thing I needed from them, was some more soil blocking mix. I picked up a 2-pound bag of that. I also decided to, since I was ordering, get a new sieve. The ones I use at school are little tiny ones for kids, and this one fits on top of a 5-gallon bucket. So I can strain out my compost and my peat moss. I also picked up a couple bottles of CVBN tablets, and therefore when you harvest flowers, some flowers are considered dirty flowers. As you know, stems take up water and nutrients from the soil and bring them up to the top of the plant, and the leaves create photosynthesis and sugar and take those stems, send it down to the roots. When you cut it, all that movement up and down the stem, some of those are considered dirty flowers that get the water dirty. This helps with that. Another thing I bought was a garden planner. This is for vegetable gardening. Kind of works like a slide rule. You mark this red line where your last spring frost day is, and then it tells you when to first plant your crops outside. Then if you're going to sow them inside, when to plant them, and when you can expect to harvest them. I bought one for me and I bought one for Glenn. I really am excited to use this, and I wish they had one for flowers. From there, I went to a ball game, and in between games, I went to a neighboring town. And as you know, I was looking for some miniature roses on clearance after Valentine's Day, and I found 3. They were originally $15.99, and I was able to pick up 3 of them for $4.99, and I will show you what I'm going to do with them later. Also, before the ball games, I went to a barn sale and picked up 3 windows. Let's show you. There, 3 glass window panes, and that's for when we make a greenhouse later on this summer. I was able to go to my husband's store, pick up some meat trays. I needed some more of those for soil blocking. But when I was in the storage area, I also found these, and I'm really excited about it with this well that it has, and it'll be able to hold more of the larger soil blocks. For my son, I picked up a 5-gallon bucket to store the compost in that I'm going to strain. Then I went to a hardware store. I needed some plant food for the roses. I have some already done, and I will show you in another video about that. I picked up some African violet food at school with my 3rd graders. I am propagating some African violets with them. And then I also picked up onion sets. So excited, can't wait. John's out there working on the garden now, edging it. I can't wait to get some of these spring things in. I don't usually buy bare root plants from a box store, but there's a couple that caught my eye earlier this week. The first one is a viburnum, snowball viburnum. Always kind of wanted one of those. See a little bit of growth. They're usually sent to the stores dormant. You kind of want to keep them in that dormant stage. So I'm going to go ahead and plant them in 1-gallon pots. I've got one of those. And I have 2 Jackmani clematis. I got these for John. We're going to put those on the shed, on each corner of the shed post. Let's start with those. I have, this is peat moss and compost, and I'm going to add a little bit of perlite to it. Mix it in, just make it a little bit lighter, a little bit fluffier. They're not going to stay in these pots, and I probably will shake off most of this when I go to plant them out. Mix that in. Help with drainage. Maybe just a little bit more. First clematis. Put it over top of my bin here. Not sure what I'm in for. That's interesting. I wasn't expecting all of that. Get some bark, type mulch, and a little pot. Was not expecting that at all. We'll dump that in. Mix that in as well. Kind of disappointing. I was hoping to see some roots down in that bag. My first pot up here. And a lot of soil. Say I will put these in the ground as soon as I possibly can. You see some new growth, old dormant growth, and the roots aren't quite what I was hoping for either. We'll have to see how they do. John really wanted a Jackmani. We had them at our kids' house in Muncie when they lived there in college. We went to Ball State, and we had some growing up on their house there. We really liked it, so we wanted to have some here. It took me a while to find some. We had a wholesale nursery that we used to buy from, and they used to carry it, and that's where we got the first one. They no longer carry clematis. So let's see if I can dig a little bit of a well, a little hole, fill in around it. set that one aside, and I'll do the other one up real quickly. So I finished the 2 Jackmani clematis. I actually went back to the first one and kind of took it apart a little bit and teased the roots a little bit more, kind of loosened them up. Wasn't quite happy with the way they were. I think they'll be all right. I'm ready now to pot up the viburnum, snowball viburnum again. I had to mix up a little bit more soil. Now I'm ready. And they have a strap on that, so I'm going to cut it. See what it's like inside. Maybe. There we go. Oh, that didn't mean to happen. Get it sliced down the side a little. This one's a little bit more what I was expecting to see. It's wrapped in a brown paper, and it looks like it's been kept moist. That looks like cocoa coir or peat possibly that it's been wrapped in or potted in. Oh, and I can see some roots there. Uh-oh. So the roots didn't go all the way down. That dropped in. But I see some nice light colored roots up here at the top, nice white roots. That's what I was wanting to see with the others. Mix this soil in just a little bit more. And my pot. Might be about the right height. Get a little high. Going apart around the roots though. I'm going to leave it filling around. We'll see how they do. It's my first real experience with the box store plants like this. Usually buy things in nursery containers. Let's get that out of the way. And I think we're done except for watering. I'll put these in a protected area up close to the house. If it gets cold enough, I will bring them in. Hopefully we don't have any more weather that gets cold. But there we go.